Let's do part A. So here we determine the total adult Americans unemployed when 6.4% of the 205 million are unemployed. So I'm going to use this parts by whole proportionality, that is parts by whole proportionality formula. So now I'm going to consider if there are 100 adult Americans, out of which 6.4 adult Americans are unemployed, and this is proportional to if there are 205 million adult Americans, then we want to find out how much adult Americans are unemployed. So let's say we represent that by quantity X. So it's basically we just have to cross multiply to determine the X. I'm going to cross multiply. So when I do that, I get 6.4 times of 205 million, and this equals 100 times X, which is 100X. Now we solve for X using this equation by dividing both sides by 100. So I divide by 100, also divide by 100 here. So therefore we can see that X equals, I just put X on the left side. So this equals 6.4 times of 205 million. I'm going to write down 1 million, and this equals 1 times of 10 power 6. You can write down like this in exponent form. So let me write down 1 million as 1 multiplied by 10 power 6, and this divided by 100. So we can just do the calculation. We have to multiply these two quantities. So let's do that. It is 6.4 times 205, and this is 1312. And we then have this 10 power 6. I can write down this 100 as 10 power 2. So now we can do some cancellation using the exponent law. Suppose if we have a over b divided by, let's say it is a over m, then this equals a over b minus m. When the bases are equal and we do the division, we just have to subtract the powers. So therefore this equals 1312 multiplied by 10 power. We have to subtract 6 and 2. That is 6 minus 2 we have to do. It's basically we have to subtract 2 from 6. And so this equals 1312 multiplied by 10 power 6 minus 2 is 4. So now we just have to multiply this 1312 by 10 power 4, and this equals, we have to place as simply as 4 zeros next to this number. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we put this commas to write down in terms of words, or to say in terms of words. So this is 13,120,000 people. So that is the total adult Americans unemployed. And this equals 13,120,000. We now answer part B. So here the test is worth 120 points, and it is required to get a score of 80%. So once again, I'm going to use this parts by whole concept. So if the test is worth 100 points, then it is required to obtain a score of 80. And similarly, if the test is worth 120 points, then how much score is required? So that's what we write down as X. So once again, we can do the cross multiplication. That is, we multiply these two numbers, that is 80 times 120, and this equals 100 times x, which is 100x. So now to solve for x, we divide both sides by 100. So we divide by 100. You see that this 100 will get cancelled with this one. So we have 80 times of 120. This equals 9600 divided by 100. So this equals x. See that we can cancel this ending zeros. So therefore, we see that x equals 96. So it is required that a score of 96 is required for that test. And this is equivalent to 80% of that test. So we can say that 80% score is equal to 96 points. This is 96 points. This represents the 80% of the score.